Yeah, look, that's what the magnolia tree does after about 4 to 5 days. I told you. Right, it's a Sunday, we're back in the garden. Gary's come round, he's just preparing a few more lawnmowers. Right, what we got here, Bert?
Flymo, this one.
This is a Flymo, again metal deck. As you can see, that's the colour that they was. And we're going to try and maintain the same similar colour, aren't we? What you got here? Again, this is a similar blue, but you didn't pay $7.49 for it, did you? 80 pence, and that is again car boot fine paint. So you can get a lot of these paints from car boots. As I said, you paid 80 pence for this. I got a job, a lot of the red stuff, but that's a near enough match to that. And once it's had the lacquer applied over it, it's going to look fantastic. So that was that. Right, well, I managed to scrape together all the wood-eyed land about the garden. I know a lot of it doesn't match, but I don't think that's going to matter too much. And I started to level out the area here. As you can see, all the rubbish now has started to go in there. I'm going to level this out a bit, obviously, but I've still got loads and loads of rocks to go in there and boulders, which I'm going to try and keep at a lower level. And I'm toying with the idea of stapling along the inside there. I've got some heavy duty plastic so that the weeds don't sort of poke through or start to grow through the slight gaps that you've got there. As you can see, some of these I had to join, as you can see, only, well, one I think, that's all I had to join there. But it's a pretty substantial unit now, and once it's painted the same colour as the fence, I think it's going to match in quite nicely. We went down to a car boot fair today, and I've been looking at, as you know, the picket fence I want to build, and I come across these. Again, they're just sort of 3 foot high, I think, and in batches of 10. The bloke wanted £12 for the 2 batches, that's £6 each, but I offered him a tenner. So that will definitely be enough for me to put the fence along there with provision for a gate at the end there. So again, well, I've seen loads of them at auctions, the old metal gates, I've seen loads of them, but yesterday I went to the auction and I didn't actually see any, so I can actually wait for the gate. But I've actually got the posts to go up for the main support, so I'm just looking for the runs now to go across, and I may have some odd bits of wood. Gary brought this, where is it? Gary brought this length around, for example. I mean, that I think will be ideal for using as one rail, and I can put the the slats along there, so that's what I'm hoping is going to be okay there. Little update of inside the polytunnel. As you can see now, the potatoes are coming on lovely. I'm going to give them another few inches to come up, and then I'll start earthing them up. So at the moment it's still a little bit too low. Still nothing really happened in this one. I don't know what's happening there. Pretty much the same, all of the rest of the stuff here, as you can see. But there's that stick of a raspberry plant. As you can see, it's coming up nicely now, and that's the thing I least expected to come up. Again, rhubarb is shooting up nicely, and we've actually got some seeds coming through from the sweet psyllium, and also the night scented stock is just starting to make an appearance. Now coming over here into the onion bin, I think we've just got something just starting to appear there on the onions. We've also got tiny little shoots coming up there, little purple shoots coming up there. So these stuff wasn't supposed to come up for another couple of weeks. But as you can see, the broccoli's taken off lovely now, and we've really got a lot of that in here. So that will have to obviously be thinned out when it gets a bit bigger and stronger. And I may transplant some of that into the 2 other spare tubs I've got at the end there, and I've still got all these tubs free at the end here. And I'm looking in the carrots, and I can't actually see anything happening yet in the carrots, so we're gonna have to wait a bit longer for them. So I'm gonna sit down and have a cup of tea. As I say, because I've just built that raised bed. So I was watching a few other videos on YouTube, and as you know, I want to grow me peas and beans and stuff like that outside. And I think I was watching Allotment Diary, I think it's Dan, and he picked up on another video that he'd seen where you actually start them off in guttering. So I'm going to give that a go. I think that's a fantastic idea, and all you do, you just basically get a length of the gutter, fill it with compost, and then just drop your peas in, and then just cover it up, and then water it. And once they actually start to sprout, you just slide it, dig a trench obviously where they're going to be situated outside, and then just literally slide the whole of the compost out into the trench, and hey presto, your seeds are already taken because you've started them off in the greenhouse. So I'm going to give that a go. I thought that was a great idea. And as I say, I'm going to start planting them chilies within the next week or so, and try and get a few more vegetables out. I want to get out some squash and stuff like that, and some different types of veg, which I've got loads of seeds from Scottish Prepper, as you know. He sent me loads of seeds. But in that time, obviously, the garden's in a bit of a mess at the moment because of all the woodwork and stuff which I'm actually doing, but you should see some big improvements within the next sort of couple of weeks or so. As you see, I'm going to finish that fence off now. Me and Gary are going to pull that fence up, that last post, and going to put that in then, and then I can actually get the framework put up for the beans and peas, because obviously they're going to need something to climb up. And I'm quite looking forward to, as I say, buying some more earth. Once I've filled up this raised bed and painted it and put the lining on the inside, and I'm looking forward to actually getting some stuff out of the seed trays, like the cauliflower and the cabbages and stuff, and getting them transplanted into the raised beds. And I've still got to make the covers for them, just to protect them from like white cabbage butterfly and stuff like that. So I'm quite looking forward to that. Now again, as I said to you, I'm all new to this. If you've got an interest, if you watch like my videos for either the moped repairs, which I do, or the restoration stuff, which I do I haven't done any restoration stuff on any record players, although I've got loads of them still to do. But if you watch my other videos, and you know, be patient. I've got to get the garden sorted out at this stage of the game, so you're going to be seeing quite a few like gardening videos. I know it's bloody windy out here, you probably can't hear me, but so stick with it, and I will try and throw in the restoration videos, like the Piaggio moped. I'm hoping to get something done on that this week. As you see, I started it last week, but because I needed to do this work, it's sort of taken over. So Gary's, as I say, come around, and he's got these lawnmowers which he's repairing now. So again, let's take a little look over and see what Gary's up to. I said we'd come over here and see what you're up to. You don't appear to be doing too much.
Checking my eBay.
Checking your eBay? So what, you've got some stuff listed on there at the moment?
A few things on there, yeah.
That's what I say. It's that you treat this as a hobby. It's not you obviously got your day job and that, but this is your hobby. And that's what I say, other people can do this. All they've got to do is look at what we're doing and possibly do the same thing. So what do you do sometimes when you come home from work? You go out and buy stuff, don't you?
Buy anything, whatever's there to be made money on.
So you use the checks that I've shown you, which is in the Auction Reaper DVD.
Yeah.
And you don't only search eBay, you search other local places as well. What do you actually search? You get a lot of stuff come through Facebook, and you also put adverts out there as well, don't you?
Yeah.
So you might go onto either Gumtree, Pre-Loved, or Facebook, and they've all got different groups on Facebook. You join many groups where people would say for sale and want stuff wanted and stuff. And as a result of that, you might put down you want a certain item, and then people come back to you. Yes, they've got that item, and if you're interested, you'll offer them a price, and then you'll go and pick it up.
Yeah, it's pretty much free to put ads on anyway. I get people bringing me lawnmowers for servicing. I've got an ad on there for that.
So just to let people know, a lot of people think that they can't earn money in their spare time. So, but you personally, you've got a full-time job, and how many days do you work a week, and how many hours roughly do you work?
About nearly 50 hours a week, 5 days a week.
So you're up early in the morning.
Yeah.
So that's the beauty of having these smartphones now, because you can actually check online, like Facebook and eBay and stuff like that, and then you actually go out sometimes in the evening on your way home from work or whatever. You'll probably pick this stuff up, or tell them you'll pick it up at the weekend or whatever.
Yep.
But the great thing is, as I think we found before, is that when we've actually found someone who's advertising something for sale on, let's say for example Facebook, one of the best things is actually saying to them, you'll pick it up straight away.
Yeah.
Because sometimes if you just write a comment underneath that you're interested, for example, they'll say, oh yeah, I've got 6 people interested, but provided you say, right, I'm coming around right now, I'm going to pick it up, and that's what you've got to do. So you've got to be sort of on the ball and not just wait, for example, like on eBay, wait till an end of an auction. You've got to be proactive, and you've got to actually go in there and make a decision and say, yes, you want that item and you're coming around right now. And that's why it's handy also if you've got a van as well, isn't it?
Yep.
So as you can see, Gary does it. Gary's been doing it now for a while, and he holds a full-time job down where he also works on a Saturday as well till, probably, is it 5 o'clock?
About 6.
About 6 o'clock on a Saturday. Today's a Sunday, and we're just tinkering on out here. That's what I say, to treat it as a hobby, and there's no reason why you can't make some good money doing this sort of thing. If you're handy with your tools, that is, and you don't mind playing about with a little bit of stuff like that, but it doesn't have to be stuff like that. Look further in my channel, and you'll find me repairing record players, for example. And again, you can do that inside. You don't have to necessarily have a mechanical knowledge. There can be other sorts of ventures and things that you can do. So, you know, take from it what you can. A lot of people will always say, oh, I haven't got the time to do that. If you treat it as a hobby, you will find the time, and if you enjoy this sort of stuff, why not make money doing it at the same time? Right, there we go. There's another fence post in. I can now finish this lot off now. But up until then, let's just have a look at what Gary's done here. As you can see, the blue is pretty similar to its original blue, so I'm sure you'll agree it looks a lot more tidier than that one there. So just taking a little bit of extra time there has meant that this lawnmower now starts to look in decent condition again, and it's going to command a hell of a lot of money than the £10 he paid for it in the first place. Well, I think it's about half time at the moment. I'm just going to go inside now and have my Sunday lunch, and then I'll come out if the rain holds off. See you in a minute. Oh, there we go. All nicely built now. It may need another coat, but I'm sure you'll agree it will do the job once I've filled it up. Well, we're just going to clear up now. It's getting a little bit windy out in here. Look at the tree in the background there. And it's coming up to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We're not really going to get much more done today, so... Well, there we go. He's just got the engine back in. It's not finished yet. But as you can see, it looks a whole lot better than what it did. Little spray on the handles just to tidy up the handles as well. And he's also put a coat of paint, as you can see, on the outer cover as well. So when that's plonked on, it's going to look lovely. I mean, you haven't got to achieve the greatest finish in the world, but I'm sure you'd agree that looking at that close up and also from a little bit of a distance, it's far better than looking at something like that. And that's why we do this, so have a go. See what it's like just to toy about on a Sunday. If you've got a set of tools, I mean, look here, look. These are all the tools that Gary's using. Alright, forget about the air gun, you probably won't have one of them. But it's a few sockets, a few spanners, pair of pliers maybe, set of screwdrivers, and there's no reason why that you can't produce something looking pretty much like this from an old thing that you've picked up for about £10. This thing's got to be worth about 70 quid now, once it's actually refurbished, and that goes towards the other ones he's done last week, and he's just doing this in his spare time. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.